Today I'm going to teach you how to make a paella with chorizo, lamb sausage, chicken thighs, and clams. To go with that, we're going to have a roasted garlic aioli. Now, on my side, I have some lamb sausage, okay? So I'm cutting these a little in bigger pieces. My third protein, I'm using chicken thigh. It's a little more forgiving in terms of cooking, and it just stays it's much more moist, it's much more tender, right? And you just cut it in, bite size, right? You don't want a giant piece of chicken, you want something that is manageable and you can actually chew on, right? Okay, so you're going to have a pan just like this. This is basically like a paella pan, right? So we're gonna start with the chorizo, and we're gonna start with a cold pan.
I like to give it a little bit of olive oil to start, just a little bit. I call it the encouragement. This we want to do on a low heat so that the fat melts out rather than seals in. And we are looking for a very fine dice on the onions.
Now, if you're using leeks, we're gonna use mostly the white part up to here, right? There you go. And then I do the same thing. I kind of go down, very similar to a celery, right?
So I'm gonna cut this each half in half, so in quarters. There we go, and see, skinny slices. So do all of your sticks.
I'm putting my lamb sausage in here. It doesn't need to be cooked all the way through, because I'm gonna reintroduce that later on. It's gonna keep cooking with the rice, right? But I do want, of course, a nice little sear, which I can only get right now, right? I won't get it later. This is like the moment I'm actually using all this fat for the sear. Okay, so right now my proteins are done, and I'm gonna start with my sofrito. So I have the onions, I have my leeks, right? And then I have my peppers, yellow and red. I still want now a little, just like Anne say, a little encouragement to the pan. So I add a little bit of fresh oil here, just to get the, the sizzling going here, right? So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna take my garlic cloves, put them in here, some parsley, a little bit of almonds. Fantastic.
So you see what's happening? It really is looking like it's something that belongs together, right?
Now, what do you think I'm gonna add there? My little aromatic base, right? That I just made. And if I see that it's getting a little dry and I want more oil, you add some extra virgin olive oil to it, right?
So now I'm adding my tomatoes.
So same here. Now remember, I also have a lot of sausages which also have and carry that flavor of the smoked paprika. We are both using chicken stock, right? And I'm gonna add some saffron. Saffron tastes amazing, but we are putting it in the broth because it needs to steep, right? It's like a pinch of saffron. Saffron is actually not only is it very expensive, but also very potent, right? So you don't want to put too much on. It's almost like a paste, right? That's kind of what you want. So I'm doing a roasted garlic saffron aioli, all right? So I have a whole garlic bulb here. I'm just gonna cut the top, right? Just the top, just like that. Oil, you don't wanna be shy with this. A little bit of salt and some pepper, that's it. And then you just close this, okay? And this is gonna cook and roast, okay? It's gonna steam inside. The steam is gonna cook the garlic, and then I'm gonna bring it out and use it for our aioli.
Half a cup of wine.
Now we let the alcohol evaporate, because otherwise if it stays in the pan, it's gonna carry through the flavor, and the flavor is not, it's bitter, right? Lamb sausage, chorizo as well. Then I'm gonna take my chicken, which wasn't cooked all the way, right? And I'm throwing that in there. Now, if you let this boil, keep boiling on it, and you're looking, this is gonna reduce so much, right? So we're using a specific rice. We're using a Spanish short grain rice, right?
All right. So we see
Look
what
at
we got going on here.
Look how beautiful this is. So you kind of like have to pay attention to this and kind of look, right? And feel it too. You're like, oh my God, it's sticky at the bottom. Let me scrape it, right? You bring it back up, and then you just turn it down. Separated eggs from the egg yolks.
So
I'm gonna use lemon, right? Lemon juice and just lemon zest.
all right.
On top of here, you see that there is this area, and you have 2 holes right here, right? So the best and the easiest way to do this, it's literally, you drip it from right here. Now I'm using 2 different olive oils, right? I'm using half and half, and it's just using a neutral oil. You're gonna present this dish in the same pan that you're cooking it. I actually have clams. I'm putting this in a nice, you know, little pattern, right? And the steam and the heat, it's really what it's making them, you know, come up open. All right, I have my garlic, look. Nice and roasted. All you have to do is just push the button, and the garlic come out, right? There you go, and you got roasted garlic right here. So I wanna make sure that all the clams are open, right? I'm gonna take some foil and then cover this up. Just like we did with steak, where like all the flavors really come together with resting, I'm basically doing right here, right? I'm allowing for the rice to kind of cool down a bit, absorb all the liquid, and then the clams that were here, they are just about almost done. They're going to be done by the time you serve it, because the steam is gonna help open this up. Now in my aioli, I add a little bit of lemon zest. I'm gonna do some salt. Close it again. Now I'm going to finish my paella with a little bit of olives, right? So I like to finish mine with a little bit of parsley. It just becomes nice and fluffy all around. Look at that. This is a fun dish.